Welcome back to the Cream of the Crop 4th and 31 podcast, your one stop shop for all things college and SEC football. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a minute. Go ahead and subscribe because only about 20% of you subscribe. Do us all a favor, hit that subscribe button. Help us grow this channel. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies. We don't care. Just let everybody know. I'm your host, part of the Killer Bees broadcasting team, the Chad Bullock, along with No Name Scott and the man, the myth, the legend, and the coach, Bo. Boys, what a weekend of college football we had. Bama kind of exercised some Sooner demons, so to speak. And you had two of the G5s in a total crap fest and a pretty decent defensive battle in College Station, which is where we're going to begin. That game in College Station probably went the way we all thought the Alabama Oklahoma game was going to go. I mean, 10-3. I mean, kind of a defensive masterclass by both teams. A little boring, but I think we're all old school and kind of like that old defensive slugfest. Scott, what you got?
Man, this game was, it's exactly the kind of game I like. I like those 3-6. Both defenses coming to bring it. A lot of respect to Miami. I did say there was a chance they could win this game. Carson Beck, for the most part, played a clean game. For the most part, he didn't have one of those games I thought he could have, where he was throwing 3 or 4 picks in a game. He was okay. And the defense, though, man, the defense is why they won this game. I felt like Payne brought everything he had. I thought he was, my opinion, MVP. A&M could get nothing done. I was watching Matt Be Great earlier, and he kind of referred Reese to maybe more of a Milrow type player, where he's an athlete that just happens to be able to play quarterback. I kind of disagree with that. I see his point. I don't think he's necessarily wrong, but I do feel like Reese is a good quarterback. But again, I kind of think what many have said throughout the season. You're only as strong as your schedule's been this time of year, and A&M. I mean, they got the back half of the SEC, and when they did have to go up against a monster, they lost. And I thought coming into this game, due to the fact that their last loss was Texas, that they would come out fast, put some points on the board early. But Miami gave them a hell no. That's not happening. And that was pretty much the entire game. I enjoyed it. This was a good game. Congratulations to Miami. Good luck in the next round. I've got nothing negative to say about your end. A&M, I mean, they brought it. You didn't. And that's all I got to say about it. And that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, that A&M, it kind of reminds me of that Dennis Green. They are who we thought they were.
Right.
And,
Right.
and this is just another year of A&M just crapping the bed at the end of the year. Now,
Mm-hmm.
granted, they waited a little bit longer to crap the bed, but it's just another year of crapping the bed. And
Right.
to Scott's point, Beck, 14 of 20, 103, not a great game, but he did throw a touchdown. He had a touchdown. Reed, conversely, and this is crazy, 25 of 39, 237 yards, but he did throw 2 picks. And turnovers killed him. The wind with the field goals killed him. Bo, what you got?
Yeah, this was kind of an old school feel football game. Both lines of scrimmage were excellent. I mean, I thought the defensive lines really controlled the pace of the game and the flow of the game. The worst part about Miami winning is now we are going to have to watch Michael Irvin on the sideline lose his mind the entire game in the next round against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Scott, I know that's one of your favorite players of all time, Michael Irvin, on one of your favorite teams of all
I
time.
mean, yeah, well, let's just say, hold on real quick, time out. Real quick, congratulations, Philadelphia Eagles, NFC East champs. The first time in 21 years somebody in that division has won back-to-back division
Wow.
titles. 21 years it's been since somebody won back-to-back. So, hey, You said Michael Irvin. Sorry, that gets me juiced up. Go Birds.
I knew it would. Texas A&M, I really felt like they lost that game in the first half. They completely controlled the game. They had it was about 175 yards of offense in the first half and no points. And Miami I think they had about 65 or 70 yards in the first half. They could do nothing. Absolutely nothing. So then they just came out in the second half and they just said, we're going to lean on our defense. We're just going to run the football. We're going to take care of the football. And when in that fourth quarter, I think there was about 7.5 minutes to go, A&M got the turnover they needed after they tied the game and couldn't punch it in yet again. They had 6 drives that got into Miami territory and got no points. I mean, that's just totally, and you're at home. I mean, that is just totally inexplicable. I mean, it is just amazing to me to watch that game and watch it unfold, and you're sitting there going, they're going to lose this game. I mean, I felt that the entire game because they missed so many opportunities, and then Miami just kind of hung in there to their credit, and were able to just capitalize at the end. They got the big run at the end of the game. They had the big drive. They went down, punched it in, and then got the interception to seal it. And with all of that said, I mean, you look at how the Hurricanes stack up against Ohio State in the next round. It's real simple. If they get pressure like Indiana did, and just cave that right side of the offensive line in like Indiana did against Ohio State, and harass Julian Sayin the way that Indiana did, and guess what? Miami's pass rush is probably better than Indiana's. I mean, just player for player, not talking about scheme. Miami's going to give them a lot of problems. And I mean, I said that whoever won this game would be live to beat Ohio State for that reason, because player for player, Texas A&M and Miami both have better talent up front and very, very much better sack units than what Indiana had, and that's going to be a real chess match in that next round. And you also wonder about the rust with Miami, Ohio State having 4 weeks off now. Conventional wisdom, you listen to the pundits in the media. They don't even need to play this game. Ohio State is already in the semifinals. The game does not need to be played. Miami has less than zero chance. And because last year Ohio State lost their last game and then went on a run, they're going to do the exact same thing this year. No worries, guys. Guys, it's not the same team. Not even close to the same team. So it'll be, I think it'll be interesting to see how that game stacks up, and if Miami gets pressure, if they can get pressure with 4 and drop 7, Ohio State's going to be in for a real dogfight.
Oh, I 100% agree. And in the game yesterday, Miami just felt like they were just rope-a-doping for a while till they found their chance. And I mean, Fletcher, that second half was just a awesome performance, because it seemed like whatever gap he hit, A&M didn't fill. It was simple as that. Every gap that he hit, A&M was in the opposite. Well, it was in the opposite.
Chad, I'll tell you what, Nick Saban said it best. He said Miami's got a whole bunch of big white asses on that offensive line, and he likes big white asses on his offensive line. And they rolled some bodies out of there. I was very impressed with Miami's offensive line and the way they were able to run block. And think about that. They had, 3-4 weeks off. You're playing on the road, one of the toughest venues in college football to play in. And they were not, to them, they just went in there and handled business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then real quick, let's give A&M. Well, they lost the game, but A&M got the ball back. They had the tie.
Yeah,
they had a tie right there, and Reed just severely threw it behind his receiver. That was a horrible pass.
If Reed's got to throw that ball quicker, and he's got to throw it more to the goalpost, as opposed to where he threw it. He's got to lead that receiver to the goalpost, and he just made a bad throw.
Yeah. And he ran pretty good. I was a little surprised they didn't try to roll him out and try to get something, but it ended the way it did. All right. Well, let's move on to the two games that I think we all thought was going to end how it ended. Let's go with Ole Miss. Um, just absolutely destroyed Tulane. I mean, this game was never close. It was close when they started. That was the only time it was close. Chambliss, I mean, what can you say about the guy? 23, 29, 282 touchdown. Lacey had just another Lacey game, 1587 for a touchdown. Bo, what you got on this?
Yeah, man. Ole Miss, very impressive. I mean, they came out hot. I mean, I think they scored two touchdowns in 6 plays, and I mean they really came out. They looked sharp, and then Tulane kind of rallied a little bit, and then they kind of hung around for a little bit. But the second half, I mean, it was just all Ole Miss. Chambliss is so good. I mean, he's so good. It's a shame they have to play Georgia next week. I would really love to see them in a different draw where they could go up against a Texas Tech or an Oregon or somebody else. But that's going to be.
Hey, it's a rematch.
Yeah.
It's a rematch, and the winner of the previous game has not done good this year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, Georgia's a different team now than they were, 2 months ago. I mean, they found their pass rush, they found their run game. Gunnar Stockton's just a playmaker back there. They figured out how to use the pieces they have. I just don't think because I mean, look, Tulane had opportunities. I mean, they moved the ball at for pretty good bits and pieces of that game. They just didn't have enough athletes to sustain, and as where Georgia does.
Right.
And Georgia's not going to give up those big explosives this time around, I don't think. Of course, it'll be on a neutral field. I think both teams will travel very well. But when it comes down to it, I just like Georgia. I like the stability. I like Kirby in this situation. Last year, they did not handle the bye well. Apparently, nobody did because I think it was every team that had a bye last year got beat. I can't see Kirby getting had like that 2 times in a row. They're in a better spot. Stockton's got 14 starts under his belt now, as opposed to 0 going into the college football playoff last year. But I think it was really good. I mean, Ole Miss showed you just what they're capable of on offense. I mean, defensively, little wobbly at times, but I was glad for Ole Miss to do what they did on offense, especially after Lane left and all the stuff went down the way it went down. Charlie Weiss Jr. was like, "Nah, we got this. We'll just put up a 40 burger and we'll just move on. No big deal."
Yeah, and Ma, before anybody says anything, yes, I realize that Ole Miss swept Tulane, but this is Power 4 versus Power 5. I'm talking about Power 4 versus Power 4. Scott, what you got on this one? Anything?
Ready for Georgia. I'm ready for that Ole Miss Georgia game. I mean, this one kind of went as expected. Didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Everything looked great on Ole Miss's end, and we knew that was going to happen. But looking forward, like you guys just talked about, and we'll talk about it in the future. But you got Pete Golding and Kirby Smart. Who you taking?
That's a no-brainer.
Right. So we'll talk about that game. We'll break it down, but who's not taking Georgia in that game?
Hey, before y'all diss, Pete Golding's actually won a game in this 12-man tournament. Kirby Smart has not, so there's that.
Good point, Chad. Good point. Oh, hey, and I do want to point out one thing I was talking about the teams on a bye. So what I did was, as far as betting goes, I took every team that played in the first round and basically took the points with a little money line sprinkle. I would be willing to bet you there's probably 2 of those 4 teams are going to win that played in the first round, as opposed to the teams who did not. The only one who is favored, I think, is Oregon, and it's like 1.5. The other ones, Ole Miss is +7, Bama's +7, and what game am I missing? What's the other game? Was it Ohio State?
Yeah, Ohio State and Miami.
Yeah, Ohio State, Miami. Yeah. That's like 10.5. So yeah, I took Miami with a little bit of a sprinkle there because I mean I just think that's a little rich. Now there's a chance that Ohio State could go in there and handle them if they block the front and say and hit some passes. You know,
Yeah.
can they cover them on the back end? I mean, blowouts can happen. I mean, we've seen. I mean, Bama got what a 40 burger hung on them by Clemson and got blown out in a playoff game in a championship game. So I mean, blowouts can happen. Don't go to the bank and put the mortgage up and say, yeah, we're betting the house on what Coach Bo said here. Again, we're doing pizza money just for fun, but I think it's an interesting strategy.
Right. What? How much am I betting?
You're betting pizza money.
Dang it. Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Let's go to the other stinker. Oregon over JMU 51-34. That game got a lot tighter in the second half because I think Oregon played the women's soccer team in the second half.
Right.
But, I mean, same thing. I mean, what are we doing here? And I know a lot of people online are like, well, other teams get blown out. Well, you know what? You know what JMU's strength of schedule is? It's in the hundreds.
122.
You know it? Yes. Do you know what Tulane's strength of schedule is? It's in the 70s. They weren't even ranked in the top 12. So, I mean, that argument is irrelevant. Those teams didn't deserve to be in. And I know it's contractually obligated, but this is why conference champions should not get necessarily an automatic bid, especially from a lower conference. All right, that's all I got. Bo, what do you got?
Yeah, okay. Well, first off, let me correct you, Chad. They did not put the girls' soccer team in. There's a thing called Title IX. All right, so let's just stay there. But in all seriousness,
all right, and no disrespect, it was just a joke.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Calm
I'm
down.
just giving you a hard time. But look, I mean, seriously,
That wasn't for you.
Yeah, seriously, if you look at that game before they started subbing and before it got out of hand, JMU got that. They took the ball down. They had about 300 yards of offense early in the second half. They had 13 points on the board. Not only that, they got down three additional times, and they missed a field goal and kicked 2 field goals, and then they scored on that where they just throw a hitch and the defensive back just I don't even know what that was. That was atrocious. You know, there's been questions this year about Oregon's defense and you know, are they really that good and especially against the run, and you know, will they be able to play away from Eugene? Because it seemed like they had their biggest games were at home this year, minus the Iowa game, and a game which they really struggled. Of course, they won at the end. But if you just look at the game against James Madison was able to do. I tell you, they got a really good coaching staff. UCLA's getting a good coach in Bob Chesney. They did scheme wise. They did some really good things in the run game that really got Oregon a few times. And I just wonder how that will translate against Texas Tech. And I wonder how, I mean, it's fascinating because, you know, we sit here and go, okay, well, Texas Tech, they played a Big 12 schedule. We know what we all think of the Big 12. And then you look at Oregon, well, they had one real test this year. They didn't play Ohio State. They didn't play Michigan. I think Michigan finished 4th in the conference. You know, they played Indiana and they played at home and didn't play well. Dante Moore threw a couple picks. You know, and their other two big games were they played USC at home, okay, and then they went to Iowa, and then of course they finished with Washington. But every time Washington had a step-up game this year, they got handled with relative ease. So I don't even put Washington in that real category. I know they won their bowl game against Boise. Congratulations. But it's a fascinating matchup to me because I just wonder, because in my mind, there's still a lot of questions to be answered about both teams, and I just wonder how they'll stack up against each other. But James Madison did do some good things. They just don't have the horses, and that's what you see when you take above average athletes against elite athletes, and that's what you get. And I do have a solution though. I don't mind including the group of 5, but it shouldn't be guaranteed because neither one of those teams should have been in. Neither one finished in the top 12. Now, if there's a group of 5 team that can finish in the top 12, yes, okay, we can talk about including them, but it shouldn't be guaranteed because I would much rather have seen any combination of the 3 teams, 2 of the 3 teams, Vanderbilt, BYU, or Notre Dame. put any of those three teams in, two of those three, I'd have been fine with whatever they come up with. I don't care. But it certainly would be better than that. And this is what you get when you put those teams in there that shouldn't be in there. It's different when you take, like last year, Boise was undefeated. They finished in the top 12. I mean, they even got a bye. I mean, I thought that was absurd. But it was pretty obvious that Boise could at least compete. Now, they got destroyed at the line of scrimmage, which I thought they would, but they did not embarrass themselves. Those two teams Saturday got embarrassed, and it's not their fault. They were totally outclassed, and the committee's got to make yet another change to the playoff format, in my opinion.
Scott, can you follow that?
I know there's a lot to unpack there. Sorry, guys.
No.
Ditto.
It's good stuff. Yeah, ditto. Yeah, there you go. I didn't watch the game. I decided I wasn't going to do it, and I paid attention. I watched the score, but I mean, I've just decided that this G5 thing, and Bo, that's the first time I've heard that, and you're 100% accurate on that, man. I agree 100% with you. If you're a G5 school and you're in the top 12 come playoff time, yeah, we can have that conversation, but it should not be a guarantee. There's the line right there. Why are we guaranteeing these guys to get in? Why are we doing that? So no, I didn't turn that crap on. I went shopping with my wife. I was forced, but I mean, I went and I did it. And you know what? I smiled and I checked my phone every now and then and kept up with the score. But that's as much as I gave it. I wouldn't give it anything.
Think about it real quick, guys. It's the equivalent of telling the JV team that they're going to play the best team in the area on Friday night. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's essentially what you got.
And Scott, your man card is revoked for going shopping on a football Saturday.
Never.
It's Christmas time. It's the only thing I got.
Never. It's the Christmas, holidays. But look, last night I had the 4 boxes on. I had the NFL games on. I had on the YouTube multi-view. I had the college game on, the pro game on. I had some college basketball on. I was watching it, but I was kind of in and out, and I wasn't glued to it like I was the A&M game. It got A&M Miami. That was single box. Let's do this thing. And hey, one thing I want to point out about the A&M game is everybody dogged A&M. They shouldn't be there. They didn't play the top teams in the SEC. They shouldn't even be allowed in because they lost that game to Texas. However, Ohio State, the best team they played in the Big Ten was the 5th place team. They didn't play any of the other top teams. They played the 5th place team. I think it was 5, 7, 8, and 9. Those were the best teams they played in the conference. And nobody bats an eye. I mean, it's perfectly fine because it's Ohio State, because they've got that national name brand recognition. They are, I'm not going to say the defending national champions because they're not defending anything. That championship they won last year is theirs. Nobody can ever take it from them. So, but they won the championship last year, so they just automatically get the benefit of the doubt, even though the best team they played in their conference was the 5th place team. The best team they played in the regular season was Texas. So, make of that what you will.
Yeah.
Just an it's just an observation. I'm just giving data points, guys.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I feel like it's a cop-out for anybody, especially of fans we will not mention. First it was, Miami and A&M. And then it was, no, it really wasn't Miami. It was the fact that Alabama got in. And now it's like, no, it should be the two group of 5. I like, pick an argument and stick with it, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And the one thing, the thing is, one of those two teams is going to lose. That's a fact. That does not mean just because because I heard them saying Oklahoma shouldn't have been there. The hell they shouldn't have. Oklahoma had one of the best defenses in the country. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, they went on the road and beat Tennessee and Alabama in back-to-back games. I don't think it was back-to-back weeks. They had a bye week in between. But for anybody to sit there and say, Oklahoma shouldn't have been there, bull crap. Oklahoma deserved. They earned it. They should have been there. Same thing with A&M. They were a top 5 team all year. They did get beat on the road to a good Texas team. Texas isn't a bad team. No. So, I mean, what do you want? somebody's got to lose, and I think it's a lazy argument, for anybody to wait for whoever's going to lose and then, oh well, that's who shouldn't have been in there. I just think that's a lazy argument.
It absolutely is.
All right.
And
I agree.
Go ahead.
and the thing is, just real quick, when you start unpacking these teams and you really look at the data that's in front of you, not the logos that are on the helmets. There's a lot of arguments that can be made, that people in nationally in the media, that they just refuse to overlook. Or excuse me, they refuse to talk about. They just overlook everything. All they want are brand names and to push narratives to get viewership. They want the sponsorship, they want the viewership, they want the dollars. They don't give a rip. They don't talk about anything really substantive and get down into the crux of why these teams are winning or losing the way that they are, and they take into no consideration the who, when, what, why, and where of why everything has happened. And they just look at the brands and they just promote the brands and promote the players they want to promote. And that's just what they go with. Oklahoma, for example, they're not aesthetically pleasing. Okay, they were choppy on offense all year. Mateer broke his hand. He was playing with a screwed up throwing hand all year. Okay, they had 2 freshmen on their offensive line. Okay, so their offense was a little jumbled. They're not aesthetically pleasing to watch from the offensive side sometimes. But that defense gets after it and they create plays. They win in other ways. So because that's not convenient for the media, oh, well, Oklahoma's not very good. They're mediocre. They shouldn't be there. Okay, well, they probably got 8 or 10 guys on that defense that are going to play in the NFL. So just knock that crap off.
Yeah, and it seems like to me, Scott, if you want to get on this, you can. But let me make this real quick. It seems like to me, nobody was talking about Oklahoma. They were waiting for Alabama to lose because the perception was Alabama was going to go in there and get their butts kicked, which we're about to get to, Mob. I'm kind of on one right now because I'm tired of this. But, as soon as they lose, then you see it pop up, TikTok, Facebook, everything. Now you're going to jump on Oklahoma when Oklahoma wasn't even a part of the conversation until they lost an extremely hard-fought game. Now, yeah, they did turn into Choklahoma at the end, but that doesn't mean that they didn't belong there. That stadium was rocking Friday night. If you didn't watch it, shame on you because you missed a hell of a game. Scott, You got anything on this?
Look, I just tune the nerds out, man. We're all old enough, dude. Like when they start this crap, whether it be the internet, whether it be on TV, whatever, I just turn it off. I just ignore it. I don't acknowledge them. There's so much nonsense. We were talking, before the show. So much nonsense gets splout out there on the internet and all over TV, whatever big network sports show you want to watch. Half the crap that comes out of these people's mouths, it's ridiculous. I turn it. Like I said, I don't watch it. I turn it off. It's clickbait. It's bullshit. Like nobody. Excuse my French. That one slipped out. But it's ridiculous, is what it is, and there's no other word for it. That's why you'll never. I told you guys earlier. You'll never walk into my house, find me sitting on my recliner and having it on ESPN. That ain't happening. Why? Because it's all dog water, man. None of it's any good. They've gotten rid of anybody who was any good at actually doing real reporting. They're all gone. Now you turn it on and it's just a bunch of talking heads, and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They literally just put shit out on TV, and I did it again. And now, because I'm passionate about this. All right, it drives me crazy. That's
Who's
why I
paying
spend
our
so much
fines?
time. Right. I got it. I'll take care of it. Oh wait, that's me. But no, I'm over it, man. I don't turn the TV on anymore. We got Josh Pate. We got Uncle Lou. I got my few that I tune into that know the game. They know the X's and O's. They give us the inside information we need. Really enjoy watching just a couple of those guys. I don't need anybody on a major network telling me anything because they do not know what they're talking about. They don't. They have no idea. And everybody picked Oklahoma to win. and now Oklahoma lost, so now everybody's blaming Oklahoma and know they shouldn't be there. Get away from me. Like nothing you say makes any sense. But that's it. I'm gonna end that there. I'm done.
I'm going to name drop one other guy that I like listening to. I don't know if y'all have heard him, J.D. Pickell.
Oh, JD's awesome. I listen to JD
Yeah.
Pickell all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
He is.
He's very good.
Yes, he is another
Well, see,
good one that I will.
he actually played college football, so he actually understands football. I mean, he understands the intricacies of football. I mean, and I know we're going to get into some things where we start really highlighting the games next week about who did what against teams and when they played and really taking a deep dive in the numbers. But Pickell's a guy. The On Three Network. Any of you guys, we'll give them a shout out because they're really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that. Oh wait, no, we do have another game. The main event. I didn't forget about it. We got the main event from Friday night. Honestly, we all know it was the best game of the weekend. Alabama going into storming Norman, getting down, looking like complete dog crap. First 24 minutes of that game, coming back. I don't think I've ever seen a game flip. I can't remember a game that flipped like that. Just from, it seemed like Alabama had it on like Heisman and then turned it to freshman for about a quarter and a half. So Alabama just comes back. I still can't believe it. 34-24 in Norman. They actually flipped the script in this game from the first time. And Scott, I know you remember me telling you. I told somebody, whoever wins this game will have a pick six. I called it.
Yeah.
I'm a prophet. I'll let you go first, bro Deucer. What you got on this game?
I firmly believe that Oklahoma got a little bit of taste of what we got last time. I feel like the shoe was on the other foot. It was almost like watching the exact same game, but it was flipped. I do think a lot of their mistakes, though. The difference, though, I will say this: a lot of their mistakes in this game weren't forced. I do think they just, not all of them. Some of them may have. You could put that argument on there, but I feel like some of them, because I feel like their turnovers they forced on us were actually forced. A lot of them, whereas this time I feel like they did. They had a couple of things. His breaks just didn't go their way. That drop punt, for instance, we didn't do that. They just screwed up. Stuff like that. But I do feel like they got a little bit of taste of what we got last time. Defensively, I mean, wow. Alabama, I mean, after they went up 17-0 on us, I mean, again, y'all have heard me. I've been praising this defense for seems like the whole season now. Just game after game after game after I was yelling Fire Womack week 2. They have really, 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 really done an outstanding job, and they were making adjustments during the game, which I love seeing. There's nothing. I don't. Why are we waiting till halftime to make adjustments? I've never understood the halftime adjustment thing. If you can make adjustments, make them. Don't wait till halftime. And that's what they were doing. And I mean, we were 17-0 going into the second quarter, and you could see it. You could see it. You could see the adjustments literally right there in front of you as they were happening. And I just got to give it to Kane Womack, man. You've won me over. I hope you never leave. I don't want you to go anywhere. Stay here. I'm enjoying what you do. And I said that this time last year. Honestly, I remember as we were going into the Michigan game, I felt really good about. I felt really good about him at the end of the year. So this kind of has a trend now. So I'm just, look, I'm done cussing about Womack. I'm finished. I will continue my frustration with the offense, but let's talk about them for a minute, because I actually felt like they were able to do some things. I tell you what, 17, right?
Yep.
Keep him on
Brooks.
the field. I mean, this guy, unbelievable game. Bernard with the behind the helmet catch. Tyree, ring any bells? Yeah. I mean, you talk about just the things that were happening on offense. You're not going to hear me talk bad about it. Look, we can't run the ball. Okay, it's a thing. It is a thing. We're struggling running the ball. We are. We'll get a good break. Hill had a good run this past week. Okay, those things are going to happen. I don't want to give up on the run, but I'm hoping we go into Indiana just knowing that. Still run the ball, but know you're going to have to win through the air. Make that the game plan and go win the dang game because we can. We absolutely can. Just know that going in. And then, at the beginning of this game, I'm yelling because I'm like, here we go. It doesn't look like we're prepared. It doesn't look like we prepared at all for this game. What have we been doing? We look confused. How many times does Ty run up to the line of scrimmage, and the play clock is just a ticking, and now he's going up to the line and he's changing the play. Yeah. And it's like, how many times? When is that going to stop? Obviously, it's not. We're literally going into the second game of the playoffs, and we're still doing it. So, my frustrations are still there with the offense, but I'm going to leave them alone this week. I felt like they played hard. They played fast. I feel like they brought everything. They brought some energy this time, and it took them a minute to get started, but once they got started, I felt like the offense was doing okay. And credit to the offensive line as well. I feel like they played a heck of a game. Ty was still running. It wasn't perfect by any means. I'm not saying it was, but I thought overall the offense played much better than I've seen him play in quite a few months. So that was good. It was really good.
Yeah. I think the thing with the offense is, it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then something started. Something good happened. The first down they got, the kind of the maybe little seam route where it looked like Ty Simpson was going to underthrow him to Brooks, like his first catch, and he caught it, kind of falling back for the first down, got him in plus territory for the first time all night. I think after that they kind of just settled down and like, look, we can move the ball. Let's just block. Bo, let's. Right. I know we have there's a lot to unpack in this game. I think we could spend an hour talking about what happened throughout the game, but Bo, do us a favor. Let's go back to the first quarter and a half. What did you see from the offense? Not much, I know.
Well, I'll tell you this. You're talking about the lack of production by the offense, but understand this. And again, you're not going to hear this from the traditional media. You're not going to hear this from the talking heads on television. The guys wearing crimson and cream with the OU on the side of their helmet had a lot to do with that. That's the best defense in the country, guys. Brent Venables is the best defensive coordinator in the country. Bar none, and it's not even close. And I'll tell you this, Oklahoma. If y'all want to fire him, we will have a spot on our coaching staff for Brent Venables pronto. Okay? What went wrong with Alabama early on was a lot of it was dictated by what Oklahoma was doing. Very simple. They were running a lot of games in twists up front, a lot of disguises. They were doing stuff. They were overloading us on the left-hand side. They were slanting down and then looping guys. It's called long sticking. So they were taking the opposite, the linebacker on our left and long sticking him all the way around the end. They ran so many twists and loops up front and played so many games. It is amazing to me that Alabama's offensive line was able to see it enough and to be able to make the adjustments, like you said, Scott, possession by possession to change their protections. And something else, you're talking about Ty at the line of scrimmage. His IQ is off the charts. He does more at the line of scrimmage than any quarterback in the country. Sometimes I get aggravated because I'm going, just run the play. I know it's not perfect. Just run the play. We don't need to be perfect. Let's just let our guys touch the ball. But at the same time, I think a lot of that has to do with the offensive line. Look, the right side is still suspect. The left side's okay. When we run the ball, we run it. You ever notice that? We run to the left.
Yep.
The right side is very suspect. And don't think for a second that Brent Venables didn't know that. Don't think for a second Kirby didn't know that. Don't think for a second that DJ Durkin at Auburn didn't know that. Don't think for a second that Kurt Cignetti doesn't know that. They know that. We know what our deficiencies are. They know what our deficiencies are. You can't hide anything. It's all on film now, guys. So when I watch this Alabama team play, it doesn't always look good. It's not always pretty. It's not always aesthetically pleasing. It looks hard sometimes. But one thing Alabama's got, they got a ton of character and they got a ton of heart, and those guys fight their tails off. And if they're going into the Rose Bowl, weather shouldn't be an issue. We shouldn't have any rain. It should be a nice fast track, and we're not going to be playing in front of. We're not going to be on the road. It's going to be a neutral site. It's a big, spacious venue. I really like Alabama in this game. I have to tell you. Obviously, I'm an Alabama fan. Indiana, I think it is amazing what Kurt Signetti has done. And I know I'm fast forwarding here and I'm kind of getting off. It is amazing what he has done. He has taken the doormat of the Big Ten and turned them into a powerhouse. And we're going to have our hands full, no doubt about it. But if Alabama can play the last 2.5 quarters against Oklahoma, play like that against Indiana, Indiana's going to have their hands full too. And I think a lot of it is, again, everything looks hard. Bama has trouble running the ball, but it doesn't matter. They have players. They have NFL caliber players all over the place. And they were able to make enough adjustments in that game to be able to get those players touches. And you see what they're capable of. So, again, I think a lot of it, you're looking, people want to criticize Alabama's offense. You saw an elite coaching job in that game, making adjustments on both sides of the ball. Kane Womack said, okay, this isn't working. Let's just start bringing heat. And then they mixed up their look. That's how they got the pick six, guys. That we did that. Mm-hmm. They didn't do that. We did that. Because we had been playing like a zone coverage, playing kind of a shell or quarters, however you want to call it. And we crossed them up and we ran cover 2. Because Xavier Brown was just sitting on that route, and you can see on the play that 18. I've got a brain cramp here. I can't think of his name. But Bray Hubbard. Bray Hubbard's over the top.
Yeah. For Alabama.
Yeah, he's playing over the top. He's got the deep.
Yeah.
Xavier Brown sits. They inverted their coverage, and bang! The first time we did it, pick 6. That guys, all it takes in a game like that is one play like that. And after Bama got that pick, I said, this game's over. This game's over. Bama got down 17-0, outscored them 34-7, and that's a top-notch defense. And you say, oh, well, 10 of it came up from the defense. Okay, fine. We scored 24 points in 2.5 quarters on the best defense in the country. So in their backyard, with 50 Cent making an appearance at the end of the third quarter. So it's amazing what you can do when you're at full. That's as close to full strength as Bama has been in several weeks. And now they got 10 days off. Now they're going to get even healthier. And, I'm not saying they're going to beat Indiana. I like their chances because I like their ability to push the ball down the field.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what you can do when you got all your guys and everybody's healthy. And you saw that, and you're not shuffling your offensive line due to injury, and you can keep your guys out there.
Right.
And that communication is so important. So, what a game. And what a swing of emotions in that game.
Yeah. Sure.
And Scott, you remember that long list I gave you last week when it was just me and you? That long list of injuries that we had coming back?
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, in the Georgia game, not only was Bama without 11 either starters or major contributors, they lost several guys during the game, and on the defensive side of the ball, and the defense was still able to hang in there. But again, you get all your guys back, you get healthy, and it gives you a chance.
Right. It had the feel of that run we went on back in October. I see you guys are shaking your head. Good. I'm not the only one. It made me feel like that when we were, when we beat Georgia, when we went on that run, of all those ranked teams and great defenses in a row. Everybody leaves that part out. We went against these top defenses in the country in a row. And I kind of got that feeling during that game the other night. Like, man, this feels good. This feels like we can compete and we could win. And obviously, after Georgia beat the heck out of us like they did, and how we've struggled through the last month or so, I've missed that. But, man, I felt it Friday night. It felt good to feel that way again. And, hey, let's just hope we keep that momentum and that feel going into Indiana, because everybody's going to pick Indiana to win this game.
Of course.
They all
100%.
are. But nobody's going to give Alabama a chance in hell of winning this game, except for us, of course, because we're Bama fans, right? We believe, right? And I believe now more than ever after what I just watched Friday night, because we're battle-tested, right? Who has Indiana played? And I'm not trying to make that the argument. I'm just saying you have to look at that when you're going into this stuff. We've played the best defenses in the country. We've played, 9
of our games have come. We've played 9 top 30 defenses. 2 of them against Georgia, 2 of them against Oklahoma, and then a smattering in between. We played 9 top 30 defenses.
Right.
Ain't nobody in the Big 12 or 10 could say that.
And that's what I say about our, I get frustrated with our offense, but don't think I'm not thinking in the back of my brain, in the back of my mind, well, hell, we keep going up against top 20 defenses every single week, and we're hurt. And our O-line is what it is. There's a reason I can be frustrated, but that's why, I, in the back of my mind, I'm like, cut them some slack. It is what it is, but I'm still going to push. I'm still going to say, well, this, that, the other. I'm still going to point. I'm the armchair quarterback. I'm the couch coach. That's who I am. It's what I do. But
run the ball, run the ball,
right? Yeah, but I just, everybody's going to pick Indiana to win, but I don't think anybody in this playoff outside of maybe Georgia is more battle tested. It's anybody left anyway. Even Ole Miss, I feel like, I don't want to say they had a cake schedule, but I don't think it was anything like Georgia or ours. I think,
yeah,
we're the one that. We're the 2 teams in this playoff that had a dogfight, but the Indiana game's coming, and it's going to be it's going to be a lot. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not going to listen to a lot of these guys this week. I'm turning it off. I'm not listening to it because it's all going to be Indiana all day long, and they're going to tell us how fabulous they are and give us their numbers for the entire year on offense, defense. Okay, great. Again, but what they're going to leave out is they played Purdue.
Yeah, among others. Yeah.
Among other nobodies. They didn't play anybody. And I hate making that the argument because it sounds like a cop out, but it's not. It's facts. You have to bring up the strength of schedules.
That it's called data points.
You can't just hand somebody a win and say, why are we even playing this game? Like Bo said earlier with Ohio State and Miami, because they're going to get that treatment this week too. We're going to hear how they're just going to go in there and blow the doors off Miami. I don't think so. Not the Miami that I just watched yesterday. That defense is good, and I think they're going to bring it to Ohio State. Who do I think is going to win the game? I don't know. I'll let you know next week, but it's going to be a good one. Nobody's going to just walk in there and take that game, and nobody's going to just walk in the Indiana-Alabama game and do the same thing. They're going to be dogfights.
Going to be earned.
These are going to be dogfights. Absolutely. Whoever wins that game deserved it. Period.
And
they're going to have to go in there and do it.
And let me interject 2 things.
Bo, go ahead.
Let me interject 2 things on this real quick. So we were talking about this before the show, Mob, that before we came on, that Ken Palm, which is some of the foremost power rating system that is used in Vegas, had Alabama playing 8 of the top 30 teams in the country, and the 3 Big Ten teams played 9 total for the season. So, and again, I don't want to make this an argument about you didn't play nobody or and I'm not saying they're not good teams. Hell, for all we know, it might be Indiana, Ohio State playing for the national championship. But if they are,
Right.
They're going to earn it. They're going to have to earn it because they've got some teams now that are going to be stacked up against them that not only can punch back but can bloody their nose. And this is the first time that these a lot of these Big Ten teams have been in these situations. And we were talking about this before the game, before we went on the show, is that, Indiana opened up with Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. Then they had their 3-game run. Like every team has it, where they say, like, if they get through this unscathed, they should be good to go. Well, the 3 hardest games they played in a row were Illinois, at Iowa, and at Oregon. And they had a bye between Iowa and Oregon. And then this is how this is how Indiana finished the season. Michigan State fired coach, terrible at quarterback. UCLA fired coach, backup quarterback. Maryland, absolutely terrible. Penn State fired coach, backup quarterback. Wisconsin, second or third string quarterback, depending on which week they played because they both got hurt. Purdue, worst team in the conference, no conference wins. They went 2 months before they played somebody when they played Oregon on the 11th, October the 11th, and then they came back and played Ohio State on December the 12th, or December the 6th, excuse me. So, and again, I'm not diminishing what Indiana has done. They took those teams, they put them in a blender and just destroyed them, which they should have. Okay, if you're a college football playoff team and you play those teams, that is what you should do. And I'm not diminishing what Indiana has done. But when you go 2 months without playing a quality football team, and then we saw it, they got in the Big Ten championship, they scored 13 points. They scored 13 points, and a lot of that was due to ineffective play by Ohio State and some of the mistakes they made. Okay. So it's going to be interesting, but the one thing I will say, Indiana is very healthy. I mean, they lost that one their best defensive lineman tore his ACL in that Big Ten championship. So the interesting thing to me, okay, and I was just thinking about this today. Suppose Indiana beats Alabama, which I will 100% pull for Indiana to win the national championship, not because they beat Alabama, because of the story it is for college football. A Big Ten doormat now is at the top of the conference, and they would have Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, the big boys looking up at them. And here is Kurt Signetti with little old Indiana as reigning at the top of the Big Ten heap. And I think, obviously, we want Alabama to win, but from just looking at the totality of college football, I mean, what a fascinating story that would be. But we still want to kick their butts, but we're still going to have a lot of respect for Indiana before and after the game.
Yeah, and I think let's go back real quick. This will be my last thing on Alabama, Oklahoma. All 3 of us didn't say one thing about special teams. And if you would have told me that Alabama would have won special teams and won special teams convincingly against Oklahoma, I would have told you you're full of crap. But the fact that our man Talty made both his kicks to keep it, to get us to within a touchdown and then to extend the lead to 10, and that the other guy, Mr. Jorts, missed 2 kicks in the last 2 minutes of the game to ice it for us, I would have never in a million years believed that. Scott, I mean,
I think you need a Talty jersey. You need to get you a Talty jersey, and let's just go ahead and end this now. This love affair with Chad and Talty. I don't know what's going on here.
Put some respect on his name.
This man says Talty's name I don't know how many times a game. Talty's not. We hadn't even seen Talty in 20 minutes, and he's talking about Talty. So, yeah, Chad's definitely something going on there, Chad.
He's 4 for 4 in his last 4 kicks at Auburn and then at Oklahoma. I mean, as much as he's gotten crapped on, and rightfully deserved at times, ever since he got booed out of the stadium in Oklahoma, he has been money the rest of the way. So I think he deserves a little. He deserves some credit. Yeah. So I just want to give him. I want to give him his flowers in the special teams as a whole, because Oklahoma was supposed to be light years better than Bama.
Mm-hmm.
They had one punt mishandled. They shanked a punt in the fourth quarter that let us score.
Yep.
Missed 2 field goals. And what did we do? We made both of our field goals. So I mean,
again, it kind of goes back to the it says shoes on the other foot for this game, because we had so many mishaps on special teams in the last time we met. So, hey, it was good to see it the other way around, right? I mean, I enjoyed it. You know?
I got to give the kicker his due, because like with Peyton Manning about our idiot kicker, but I just got to give him his due. Well, it looks like that might be it. Does anybody, real quick, have an I can't stand it for this week, Bo?
Well, I kind of already said it earlier that I can't stand this playoff format and the way in which it's set up. I don't think the group, if you're not going to have a P5, a group of 5, and then a Power 4 playoff system where you can have a Power 4 champion and a Group of 5 champion, that I don't think the Group of 5 should be totally excluded. If they have a team worthy of being in the playoff and they finish in that top 12, then they can be in the mix. But if they don't, they should not be allowed. Neither one of those 2 teams should have been in. And it has nothing to do with the score of the game. We said that beforehand. We knew this was coming. This was no big surprise. But if they're worthy of getting in, like Boise last year, Boise was worthy of getting in, even though we knew that they were going to get hammered at the line of scrimmage. They didn't embarrass themselves by any stretch of the imagination. They didn't. They just got beat by a team that was just bigger and stronger up front, and they couldn't get the ground game going. But moving forward, there should be an option to let them in, but it shouldn't be a guarantee. And that's what I can't stand.
All right.
Right.
All right. Regular Scott, you got anything?
I'm just going to ditto what Coach just said. I mean, we've just got to do something about the G5 situation in the playoffs. We've got to. And I don't want it. I just don't want. I don't want this to sit. I don't want this to be something we're still talking about 5 years from now. Let's fix this. Let's
fix it now.
Let's make the games better. Like Coach says it all the time. Coach Bo's always saying on the show, we like good football. We enjoy watching good quality football. And why would you do what we've done this year when you could have put Notre Dame against Texas Tech, or Oregon or whoever, first round? The first round could have been so much better here, including Notre Dame, including Vanderbilt. BYU, because I think BYU would have handled. I don't want to say handled, but those games would have been so much better. Why aren't we playing quality games in the playoffs? So I'll end it on that. I just agree 100% with what he said. So
yeah, and to the committee's credit, they did change it after last year. Made the first round the top 4. So I think it's something that they can work into the contract.
I'm sure they'll make another adjustment. They'll make another adjustment at the end of this season, just like they did last year.
Yeah, and I also think they pushed the deadline back. I think the deadline for it was like January or something. I'll have to look, but I know they pushed it back another month so they could reconvene and try to make this better. I mean, it's only the second year,
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they didn't think we were going to have this much drama. Not this much drama with it, but I don't think they ever thought we'd have 2 Power 5 teams in it. This was just an odd, crazy year of college football.
And plus, also with NIL,
yeah.
with NIL and transfer, you've seen more teams dipping into the pool now. So instead of 5 or 6 teams having a legitimate chance to win it, you probably have you got 10 or 12, maybe 15 that can get in there and compete for basically 10 spots, because you're almost, especially this year, you were guaranteeing 2 P4 teams, or excuse me, G5 teams. So,
yeah,
hopefully they'll fix it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Mob. Well, you know what? This will do it. I think this was a good show. We went almost an hour, guys. That's good. It didn't even seem like an hour. Let us know in the comments what you think. I know everybody in the Mob's going to agree with everything we said. I mean, I look at the comments on TikTok. We don't think we have anybody who disagrees with any of our opinions. It's crazy.
No.
Or just sits there and calls us names rather than having a substantive college football conversation.
Yeah,
we'll work on that, guys.
That don't happen. But
nah.
yeah. That's got to change. Bring it, boys. Bring it. So what we'll
Right.
do is we wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I don't think we're going to be on probably till after Christmas break. So we'll spend some time with our family. Hope you do too. Again, wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And for Coach Bo and regular Scott, I am the Chad Bullock, and we will see you after Christmas.